Tell me about Greenhorns, Francis. You hired hundreds of people out of Westport. What's something that you looked for when hiring a young man?
Just look for somebody that wanted to work.
What's the difference between Greenhorns back then and Greenhorns now?
I guess back in my day, boats were made of wood and men were made of steel. Different today.
Yeah. Greenhorns. Believe it or not, each year people fight tooth and nail to land this position. Why? Because as brutal as the work is, the pay can be handsome.
My dumbass leaves my rain gear.
Did you lock it? There you go.
Might have to take a video with my phone, making sure I locked it.
Crew members on a crab fishing boat can earn up to $15,000 in 1 month. Unfortunately, as with any career, before you can earn top dollars, you have to start at the bottom. Entry-level crabbers are called greenhorns, and you'll find at least one on almost every crab boat. We've all been there.
How many times are we gonna lock it?
So what are your hopes for this dump day and potentially this season?
Not sucking
Yeah. And getting onto
another boat.
a more permanent situation?
Yes,
Awesome.
but we sent it down here.
What's your full name? Say, I'm
I
Aiden,
am Aiden Joseph Thomas Payton,
and I'm the greenhorn.
and I am the low man on the totem pole.
Welcome aboard. Hell yeah.
What's this interview about anyway?
Okay, so Episode 2, it's about greenhorns.
What?
The topic of episode 2, the whole topic is greenhorns. So I get to ask captains like you, legendary fishermen, what do they remember about being a greenhorn? And then what's the difference between greenhorns now and new guys back then? And then we're going to talk about...
There ain't no difference except the fuckers are on drugs.
I've been telling my soul, working all day.
Levi!
For bullshit pay, so I can sit out here, waste my life away. Drive back home, drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame what this world's gotten to. For people like me, and people like you, wish I'd wake up and it not be true.
Hey, Beck, you gonna catch any crab this year? What's up?
Try our best.
Hell yeah.
With an old soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do. I don't think you know, but I know that you do. 'Cause your toleration and it's taxed to no end. 'Cause the rich men, north of Richmond.
I'm going this boat.
There he is!
That's how I'm fucking rolling. I told him 80 pounds of land. How are you? Good to see
Wonderful.
you.
Yeah, good to see you as well.
Getting younger. What kind of face cream are you using?
Just no drugs or booze.
Ah, great.
Hey, James!
Well,
Good to see you. I haven't seen you guys in a long time.
long time.
Yeah.
I'm still the same me, still the same fucking cunt. I
No,
ain't
you
shit.
come on.
Yes, I am.
You're bathing in the oil of Sodom as well. Look at you, looking younger.
This year. Look at me. I'm 40. Fabulous 40. Yeah. 9/11, I'll be 40. Can't wait.
Hell yeah.
I'm glad you're on the boat with Spenny. Little Spencer. Now he's Big Spencer. He's a grown man.
So what do you remember about being a greenhorn?
My greenhorn experience wasn't too bad, especially compared to some other horror stories I've heard from other people in the industry. Some people had horrible experiences as a greenhorn. I was around pretty good people who, for the most part, when I was new anyways, knew what they were doing, and nobody was any harder on me than they needed to be. So it really wasn't it wasn't an unpleasant experience. I was a greenhorn, I feel like, for a little bit longer than most people. When I started fishing, I was in elementary school, so I went up for summers, and I'd go up for the summer, do a little fishing, come back home, and then for the rest of the year be in school, go back, and I'd have to relearn how to be a deckhand again. After a few years of that, I got pretty used to it. So my greenhorn experience is pretty mellow compared to most people's.
How's James doing?
Doing good. Doing good, yeah. Doing great.
Mike still treating him good?
Fuck yeah. It looks like it's gonna be good weather for everybody too. Yeah, good weather. Hi, kid.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you? Good to see you.
Hey, can you hand me my phone real quick?
Pablo! How are you?
Really nice. Yeah. Great deal, Taylor.
Life jacket on here though, right? Yeah, we have life jackets. Well, if it fucking happens, I want it to fit. You don't plan on wearing the life.
Where's James at? There you go. Captain James, what's up, man?
What's going on?
How are you?
Cameras, huh?
Yeah.
It takes a while for a guy to get used to that.
Not really. How old is he?
25.
He's an absolute greenhorn, huh?
Yeah. And
What's his name?
Sam Woolman.
Sam. I'm gonna go chat him real quick. Sam, what's up, buddy?
Hey,
Nice to meet you. Absolutely
Check that out.
green, huh? Cool.
Warmer's Tree Service.
Oh yeah.
Best tree. Yeah,
You've done some dangerous jobs. What do you think about fishing? You think this is gonna be easy or what?
I don't know. We'll see.
All
I
right.
don't think it's gonna be easy, but I'm looking forward to it.
Hell yeah.
Big time.
You're 25, first time on the ocean?
23.
23?
Yeah.
All right.
Usually cutting trees, but my dad did this, so we're giving this a go.
That's badass. Very commendable. Nice meeting you.
Yeah.
Brandon, what are you doing? What?
Getting ready. I don't know. What are you doing? Huh? I don't know.
Are you excited to start the season?
Yeah, I can feel it in my tummy.
Yeah, you're getting some preseason jitters?
I got butterflies. I'm nervous.
He's on the crane over there? Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't plan on wearing it either, but I still like to know where it is.
Eh, there's more right there. I'm just talking about the fat.
I got a fat boy one.
There's a fat boy one.
Yeah?
Stand right here.
I can still wear the regular ones, but I was like, you know what? I'm going in the chair. I'm gonna go in the chair, and I'm like, stand back. I don't know how big this is gonna get. I need the
put on
fat
a-
boy one for sitting in the chair.
Put on a few baby pounds this year, stress eating about having a
It looks like you've been driving a little bit.
the truck. Yeah.
What do you guys think about the price this year? Pretty crazy, huh?
Still haven't heard of an
Good.
official
I
price.
think we might actually get paid for what we do for a change.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody bitches about the price of seafood, but if the price that we get ain't close to or more than a gallon of diesel, we're getting fucked. We're getting screwed. Did we get a Spirit of America guy? I think so. It's Trevor.
Well,
Or is Trevor your guy?
Trevor is going with Sam. He's our extra. So we got
What's
these
up,
two.
Trevor? What's your story? Where you from? How old are you?
Shelton, 23.
Is this your first year?
It's my first day.
First
2
day.
days, yeah.
Woo! Green as hell. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's-
Welcome to Westport. Welcome to the fishing industry. That's cool. It's exciting.
Super.
Bunch of new people. Cool.
But if they don't get paid for it, they might be upset. And I told my guys to follow Jesse's lead.
You got a life jacket too?
Yeah, that blue one.
My life jacket. Oh yeah, Brandon needs a life jacket.
Brandon's life matters too.
Yeah, what the
That was my
fuck?
life
That's my
jacket. I thought
fucking
that was-
initials, BLM.
You don't got the like suspender ones or none of those things?
No. No.
The boys made me buy those things like 3 years ago. They absolutely gotta have them. See how new they look?
Yeah.
There's the reason they look new. They had to have them. They wouldn't wear them.
So what are your expectations for this season? Sore, tired, hungry, but make some money?
Yeah, I like that. This guy's just coming out to help us out for a day. Phone a friend kind of deal.
Hell
I
yeah.
heard Womer's Tree Service was getting a new chip truck.
Yep.
I heard that's what crab
Yeah,
season's
best tree
all
service
about.
in town.
Womer Tree Service getting a new chip truck.
Yep. That's what crab fishing's about. No, tree service got a little slow, so making do.
Good job.
What's this for? What's your name? I didn't get your name.
I'm Jacob. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I was gonna do that, but I've waited for him to stick the camera in your face first. This is Jake. This guy's great. Like, I met him 12 years ago.
Yeah.
12 years ago.
This is
I was
Jacob-
rigging
Jake Miller,
gear for
Jacob
this
Miller,
boat
Jacob Miller.
when it fresh out of the mold, just got finished, and we're at the gear shed, and guy says, "Oh, I got this kid. He's coming up from San Francisco. Is that where you would have been?"
That's where I was at the
Yeah,
time.
he's
Yeah.
been in San Francisco, and he's gonna help us rig gear. Of course, we show up. Here he is in the gear shed, and he's rigging in there by himself. And of course, nobody want to go in there because he's a black guy. They're all afraid they're gonna offend him, say something, piss him off. And I'm like, "We guys are fucking dumb. I'm gonna go in there too." And I don't know. I was probably 5 minutes into it, and he asked me how many kids I had, and I told him. And he looks at me and he goes, "Man, I can't wait to have a whole tribe of little nigglets."
All right.
From that point on, I was like, "We're gonna get along just fine. Fuck what those guys thought outside."
Can you believe it? Nah, I'm unbelievable.
Brandon has grown up, huh?
We were just talking about Brandon's grown up. The little kid that 12 years ago was on the boat up there in Alaska. He's kind of a little punk, and like we rolled around with Spencer, and like Spencer's kind of shy, and he didn't really do much to get in trouble, but he'd get around Brandon, and all of a sudden, the shit would start, little fuckers. But working around Brandon now, and he's a little man. He is. One of those you don't want to walk up and say it to him because you don't want to embarrass him. But
They got their 100 on there.
we watched all that.
I thought he was scared of me. Send somebody. I don't like it.
It's been a pleasure
I
watching
want to
these
say
boys
he
grow
was
up.
bragging about.
All right, Brandon. So, what is a greenhorn?
What I think a greenhorn is probably someone who don't know how to tie their basic knots, or match like the pace that everyone else is going, because there's like a pace, and you got to know when to haul ass and when to not, and I don't know.
So, someone can be on a boat for 5-6 years and still be a greenhorn, huh? If they don't know shit.
I mean, kinda, I guess. Yeah, you could be. Yeah,
That's
if you don't know your shit, then yeah, you don't know what you're doing. You're a
that's
greenhorn.
reasonable.
But I think knowing how to do the basics of everything is kind of what makes you a greenhorn, or not a greenhorn.
Yeah.
But knowing how to tie like a clove hitch or a bowline or a carrot bend or maybe a square knot, sister knot.
Yeah.
Just the basics and matching the pace. You gotta have a good pace. You can't be moping around,
There's only a handful of knots that can make you a crab fisherman.
Yeah, there's not a lot. There's
not-
just a few basic ones, but people still manage to not know how to tie them. So.
Yeah, and to never learn them
Yeah,
correctly.
yeah. People will make it their goal to not learn them. So.
Yeah. Because they don't want to be held responsible if their knot fails and you just lost about 10 grand or 20 grand or something.
That, or some people are actually incapable of doing things, but I don't know.
No, that's not true.
Some
If you
people,
wanted to, you
you'd
could
be
do it.
surprised. Some people are actually stupid, but that's what I think.
Yeah, Westport is a very interesting place.
I don't think it's just Westport. I think it's just some people not quick learners. I don't know.
Yeah.
Some people aren't fast learners. I think that also makes a good fisherman, is being a fast learner, because you're not really like crab fishing. You're not taught how to do it.
No.
You learn on the spot. You have to learn on the go. There's
just
nothing that
watch.
prepares you for it. Yeah. Well, you can't just watch. You have to step in and go for it. I don't
Yeah.
know.
When did that moment set in where you're like, wait, I know what I'm doing. Okay, I haven't been yelled at for a whole day. Cool.
Probably after the first few times I got yelled at. I
Yeah.
don't know. Just learning the pace. It's like, I don't know. It finally clicks that this stuff isn't going to get done unless I do it, or, it finally clicks. I don't remember when it clicked for me, but it's been easy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I had to chop all the bait my first year, pretty much. So
And take all the wheel watches.
pretty much, yeah. I don't know.
The expectation is high when your dad owns a boat, huh?
Higher, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you kind of feel that weight of expectation as you were starting up? And
At first I did, yeah. It got better throughout my second year, but as people learned that I wasn't there, that I was there to actually do the work and not try to get ahead of everyone else by being my dad's kid.
Yeah.
But At first, I think everyone thought I was gonna cheat my way through it, but
It's technically not even cheating. It's just the way things are.
yeah, I didn't ask
But
to be born.
people get all weird and mad and sad that, you know, their dad or grandpa didn't own the company or own the boat. And it's just how life is.
I didn't ask to be born this way. I don't know.
I'd sleep on the fucking floor. Okay.
Just sleep in Brandon Funk. He wants you to.
Either of these bunks is open.
Brandon would love it if you relieved yourself on his
I don't
bunk.
sleep talk or anything, so.
You're okay.
You'll be all right.
Yeah, you're gonna use one too.
I'll just be upstairs.
Real question is, where are you sleeping?
Upstairs. Here, go check upstairs.
Come cuddle if you want.
Come check upstairs.
Yep. Excited. Just waiting for the tank to fill up and get out of here. Get some bait. Yeah.
The degenerate that knows you dead.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Nice to meet you.
That's Sylvie.
Jacob. Is this your girlfriend? Badass.
Yeah.
Yep, he's gonna be part of my docu-series. What do you guys think of Aiden?
Oh, he's nice chap. Huh?
He's tall, smells good.
Smells right.
Seems energetic, ready to go. No doubts.
How many greenhorns have you seen come through? The time you've been fishing? What, a dozen?
Probably a dozen. Probably a dozen. I love watching greenhorns in their first shit. They're out there and they just see it. You see the look on their face, and it's pure fear. They don't know what to do.
Aiden, introduce yourself.
I'm Aiden. That's all I got. That's all I got.
I like him already.
Cut. That's it.
That's a good one.
Oh,
That's all I got.
Where are you from? What's your fishing experience?
from Mercer Island. Fished Bristol Bay a few times. That's all I got.
There you
Not
go.
a lot, not a whole lot, but
How'd you get the job here today?
DM'd your boy Jacob on Instagram. Give him a follow.
Hell yeah.
We gotta bounce this shit. We gotta go to the big boat and dump a lot of pots.
I don't know if any of you guys sin or anything, but I spent $500 on fit, so if anyone wants
Damn,
to
that's hard.
Here you go.
Sweet.
Tony at the plant is. That's me. Yep. Your phone's upstairs.
All
I'm
right.
gonna go triple, double check that I got everything that I need.
Okay. I'll follow you.
We're going to the shed after. We gotta get it. We're not leaving till midnight. I think Jason said. So we're gonna go down there and put together like some lid rubbers and. I know.
You going to the jet to do that?
There's so many to go. They're gonna grab some clam jar lids. We're gonna grab some clam jar lids and some end corks.
Alright. See you guys later.
But I fixed at least one forklift hole in the pots when we were loading them. And it was a double. They just fucking did it twice. They ramped one hole into it, backed up, and ramped another hole into it. Like,
What is a greenhorn?
Greenhorn's just the new guy. Somebody who's never done it. I don't know if it is just for that fishery. You know, like if I were to go king crab fishing, I've never done that. I'd be a greenhorn at king crab, but as a greenhorn in general, no. I've got 10 years on boats. So, yeah, I guess it depends on how deep you want to go.
Yeah.
But if you just scratch the surface, it's just a new guy.
Yeah, last year. Leave your feelings at the talk.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm glad I bought all these ends.
Yeah. So you would never be called a greenhorn up in Alaska because you do have 10 years on boats. However, like you being new at king crab fishing, that just means, well, he's green at king crab.
Right.
But no one would have the disrespect to say you're a horn. What do you remember about being a greenhorn? What was it like for you?
Well, I learned how to fish when I was a greenhorn I learned how to fish from a bunch of guys that were king crab fishing off the coast of Russia when they were 15.
They're like, oh yeah. I show up at the house. Here's a monster 4-point and this huge 3-point. And I'm like,
Started out when I was 19 on the Alaskan Enterprise. I was on there for 11 years, and I went to the Southern Wind. Did that for 6 years. And I went to Russia and did 3 or 4 tours over there, and been fishing up and down this coast. I ran boats for 10 years, and now here I am on deck again, and hopefully this is my last year. Been saying that for 20 years, but I really mean it this year. Yeah, no, it's all been good, and if I had to do it over again, I'd probably do the same thing, but maybe a little different.
So it was a little bit rougher than most people's experience. But really, it was a grand old time at the end of the day. After the first season, you kind of get a little bit of technique down, and it hurts a lot less. Your first couple nights on a Dungy boat, I mean, he's a grown man. You want your mama. Like,
Where do you feel it the most? You're tall. How tall are you, Levi?
like 6'2" on a good day.
You feel it on your back, huh?
Only at the sorting table. You feel it lower back, stacking pots. It's just the shoulders. Mostly it's my feet. So I'm a big boy. And about 14 hours in, the foot starts singing. You want to go to bed. And man, my foot, it feels like a foot today. I'm ready to go to bed. But being a greenhorn, I mean, it sucked because you don't know what you're doing. You got guys yelling at you, old men yelling at you, screaming at you, telling you to haul ass, go faster, tie that knot. And you're
Don't do this.
Right, don't do that.
Stay out of the way.
Why would you do that? You're gonna die. Shit, I don't know. But as long as you can be told what to do, and if you can't be told what to do, as long as you can be put up with getting yelled at, you'll make it.
Yeah.
It's not a nice industry. We're not out here picking flowers and telling each other we love you and good night.
I didn't know these spots were as heavy as they were. I've never fucked a fat bitch, but it reminds me of lifting one up.
It's tough. It's tough, and I started right out of high school, so I was just a kid still. I mean, I'd been on the boats in the summertime, fishing in the summertime, but not crab fishing. It's different. You gotta be tough to put up with crab fishing.
How's it coming, Captain Spence?
Good, we're almost done with the first load, so I went pretty fast. One more to grab, and then we'll be done. We can go home, eat.
Take a little nap. How you doing, Aiden? What do you think?
I want to go home and have sex. I'm having fun. And I threw up. This is basically calamari, right?
Don't eat it. It's not food grade. Way to keep up the good attitude, man. Hell yeah.
A lot of fishing is really just mental. If you can put up with being away, that's hard, being away from everybody. If you can put up with, your body hurting here and there and everywhere. If you can put up with somebody telling you what to do and put up with being with, a certain group of guys all the time in a very confined space. The only thing you really gotta get over is how bad it hurts physically.
Yeah.
And you get tired and your brain starts telling you, man, you gotta stop, you gotta go to bed. But you can't go to bed. And you can't go to bed. So you gotta be able to get past the tired and get past the hurt.
Embrace the suck.
Yes, embrace the suck. Become one with pain.
So why are greenhorns important? It seems like every boat typically has a greenhorn or somebody who's referred to as a greenhorn maybe 1 year in or two seasons in.
Well, greenhorns, Greenhorns are important because if you don't keep greenhorns coming into the industry's dead. You know, if there's nobody to replace the people that are retiring every year, in 30 years, all the fishermen will be gone, and there ain't no more seafood. So you got to keep the greenhorns coming in, so that way you keep the seafood coming in. But
In your experience and with your opinion, you know, do you think that there's a lack of greenhorns? What do you see in Westport year after year? Do you see
I think there's-
shortcoming of greenhorns, or is there a
yeah, I think there's a lot of young guys that would rather work at Starbucks than go out fishing, or
Yikes.
they'd rather go flip patties or go be a waiter somewhere. Fuck, go pour concrete, man. Go catch crab. Go log trees. Be a man. Make money. There ain't much else to it. But the kids these days, they don't even want to think about it. They don't care how much money's in it. They see that it's hard. They see that people die. They see that people get hurt. They see it's cold. They see it's windy. And they just don't want to do it.
And it's never really truly the same day after day.
No.
The same thing that entices men like you and me keeps a lot of people at bay.
There's, every day is different. That's what I love about it. This year has been, we've been out there and it's been 20 degrees and it's been snowing and hailing and blowing, and it'd be snowing and hailing and it'd switch off like every 5 minutes. And then like one guy's in the back deck making snow angels because it's fun and you're trying to make everybody laugh. And we're throwing snowballs at each other, and thank God we weren't stacking pots, but it's misery, but you can find fun in the misery.
I'm stealing one of your bananas. If that's cool. No?
I'm like, fuck it, I guess we'll dump it off. Yeah, no, at the beginning it was open, like, sweet. Played about 5 pots, fine, and then it closed up. Kind of got tight.
This banana's delicious.
I was driving around like, fuck it, everywhere.
It doesn't matter what boat you're on, and it doesn't matter how far you are into it. When you're the new guy on the boat, you get a sucky job.
Yeah.
That somebody else doesn't want to do, and you very quickly figure out why.
I've been up all night. I've been dreaming, wishing. I've been up all night, baby. I've been dreaming.
Did I get done there, love?
Wishing.
It wasn't something that I had to do or got roped into doing, but it was a great time.
Yeah, we were dating and you asked me one day, hey, can I go fishing with you? I want to try. And I looked at you like,
You were very hesitant. Very hesitant.
I mean, we just got done with your whole. There was a huge modeling expo that you went to in Portland, Oregon, and I said, you want to go from modeling high fashion wedding gowns to rain gear?
Yeah. There you go, baby.
You're okay, and you did great.
Thank you. Yeah.
You used to be my bread and butter. Then I had to cut it off with your spank ass, and now we're nothing to each other. It's like, why did you do that? Where did you go, baby, my lady? To my surprise, there was no deceit in your lies. I had to
You couldn't make it up. I ate Chinese food right before we went out and hit the bar, and I was puking probably the first hour or so, and you were just hosing it off the deck and laughing, but trying to hold back the laughing at you.
We're talking about the Columbia River.
Yes, Columbia River bar.
Leaving Westport.
Leaving Westport, yeah. So that is something I will never forget.
I don't know what I would say. What's the difference between being a greenhorn back then and now? Well, there's a hell of a lot of difference, Ron, because when I used to hire hundreds of people out of Grays Harbor. Well, fuck, you can't find 10 of them now that's worth of fucking shit.
No, they don't want to be fishermen. And I don't think for a young kid to start out now is much harder to get ahead in fishing.
Well, sure
get
it
your own
is.
boats and permits. Back then it was a lot easier because by hard work and you save your money, you could buy a boat and fish anything you wanted to fish, which is a huge difference compared to today. Today you got to have millions of dollars to buy a boat.
That's what I said.
You got to have millions of dollars to buy fishing permits.
When they started coming up with all this permit shit, I said, you're just running every young person that ever wants to get into the business out of the business. And the only way you can get in is you got to have some connection.
Yeah.
Like when I started-
And you can't just grow up and work hard and buy a boat and go fishing like you used to be able to.
I went out and bought a $20 license and a $6,000 boat. That's how I got started in the business.
Yeah, it's a huge difference.
Hey, I have a question. What happened? Your boat got stolen? I saw that on the news. What's going on with that? Some asshole came down the dock and just jumped on your boat. What was the deal?
He was going out to meet the Chinese mothership.
Is that what he was saying?
Mm-hmm.
Is he in prison now?
Huh?
Is he in prison now? Yeah.
I imagine.
Did he tried to get on board?
Well, he was out on bail for something else before that ever happened.
Yeah, he was out on
$1 million bail.
He tried to get on a few different boats, I was told.
Well, he went on the Pacific Dynasty first.
Yeah. And they shoot him off there. But would that ever have happened back in your day? Someone take...
Fuck.
What would they have done if that was...
Just killed the son of a bitch.
He would have never made it off the dock, huh?
Nobody would even think about doing something like that.
That's what happens when everyone's all fucked up on drugs.
Well, there was no drugs in my day.
No, back in your day, no.
Oh, bullshit.
Oh, bullshit.
When I was a kid, there was lots of
Well, when
drugs.
you were a kid, but that was a long time after I started fishing.
Oh, yeah, when you were fishing first started.
I just can't believe he had the balls to go on your boat.
Those drugs
and take
didn't
it.
show up until we got the Alaskan Enterprise. Because I can remember walking down through the fucking stateroom on the Alaska and I could smell this fucking odor of what the fuck is that smell? What was these guys smoking fucking pot?
He wanted a happy crew, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well, they worked 20 hours a day whether they liked it or not. If you didn't work 20 hours a day, you didn't have a fucking job.
Smoking a little bit of pot on the boat once in a while didn't hurt nothing.
No, not back then, no.
I used to tell them 20 hours a day, 4 hours sleep. But we got a lot of crabs. Forget that fucking 4 hours.
The pot
That's
that
the way we
I
fish.
actually scared to smoke because they fucking make it so strong.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Back
the
then
way
it
we
was
fish.
homegrown weed and it didn't even hardly do nothing. Dude.
I'd stay up for 3 days at a time and they say, don't you ever go to sleep? Fuck no, not until the boat's full.
I've heard stories. Oh, yeah. Most people, they just don't stop at the weed anymore. It's other bullshit.
I quit smoking weed when I started running that boat. Your boat.
Yeah, oh, yeah, the Alaskan Enterprise.
I never smoked
I
dope
put that
back then.
processing on Alaska. These guys didn't, none of them wanted to go fish with it. I said, come on, we're going to go. Next fucking year, they all wanted to fish on that boat.
Yeah.
Who didn't want to go on there?
Nobody wanted to go on it because you couldn't make no money process.
When you put the freezers on there.
Who are you talking about, Dick? That's the only one that didn't want to go on it.
The whole fucking crew.
I was on that fucking boat from
I know you
left
were.
the shipyard every day for 10 years.
Yeah, you were only 14 years old because I told you got to get your ass down there.
So you were a greenhorn when you were 14?
Yeah.
I was on that boat from day one. I never had any issues with going on it because it was a catch a problem.
Well, you didn't know any better.
He's talking about people not
I
understanding.
didn't know any better.
Yeah, the people when he was putting the freezers on
Make
there,
up your mind.
with Freezer Frank, when he was putting them on there, people were talking shit, saying he would never make any money, and oh, you're all crazy.
They just-
You stayed by
I had a hell of a time getting a crew, but the next year,
the next year. Yeah,
because we were coming in about every 3 days with that son of a bitch plugged with frozen crab.
and
Everybody else was throwing theirs overboard in Dutch Harbor because they were fucking dead.
waiting in line to offload dead crab. Yeah, but not you.
Dick didn't want nothing to do with it until the Northwest became a trawler.
Really?
Yeah, then he didn't have no choice.
Oh yeah, because he wasn't going to go trawl.
And he only made one trip a
He
year.
went on the American.
Who?
Dick.
The American was a trawler, wasn't it?
No, it was a 230-foot crab boat I had.
The Royal, you mean?
Royal.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I mean, what, he fished one trip a year on it? Big deal.
No, he fished it the whole time the first year or so.
That was on the Northwest. He didn't fish the whole year because he had to go sailing.
Yeah, he would say.
When I built the Royal, he was the first one to run it. Who run it then?
I don't know.
Dick did.
Jim England or Grizz or
Jim
Grizz.
England was fishing with Dick.
What?
Jim England was fishing with Dick.
Dick never. Jim England.
Bullshit.
We already went through that. Jim
You're
England
full
never
of shit,
fished for
Ron.
Dick
You don't know
ever.
What the fuck you talking about?
Jim England fished for me.
Well, he fished for Dick before that.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did.
Was it?
Dad, we had this argument, and I called Denny to prove it to you, and well, Dick said Jim fished
Still
with
full
him.
of shit.
Dick thought Jim fished with him too, but Jim fished on the AE every year.
Yeah.
Well,
And was Mike ever working
Mike fished on the AE every year. He
Yeah.
never fished for Dick either.
Jim and Mike England, yeah, worked on the Alaskan Enterprise. Yeah, they told me that at your birthday party. Jim was there. Yeah.
I don't know why they don't like to believe me because I was there. I know.
Well, so was I. I run the cocksucker.
You weren't there very much.
Bullshit.
At the beginning, but not from then on.
You were only 14 years old when you went on the cocksucker, so you sure as fuck wasn't running it. The last 2 years of high school, he never went.
Well,
You never went to high school. The last 2 years.
Yeah.
I went through 10th grade.
Yeah,
I
10th,
didn't go to
11th.
11th and 12th grade.
Last 2 years, you didn't go.
I know.
Yeah.
You told me I was smarter than teachers. I didn't need to go.
No, I said you're dumber than a teacher. Get your ass down on the fucking boat.
Sure. I'm just telling you how it was.
So Dick bought a seiner first at Delta, and then you
Dick started gill netting first.
Okay.
Out of Cordova on the Copper River Flats.
With Miss Michelle.
Then he went and bought a Miss Michelle's seiner.
Okay.
But you know how he got the money to get the fucking gill netter, don't you? Running a fucking crab boat.
What's the point?
So what's the
Well,
argument?
he said he never fished on the fucking crab boat. He was running the seiner.
I didn't
Well,
say he never fished on
he
a
went,
crab boat.
he went on the fucking crab boat to make enough money to buy the fucking seiner.
Carla wouldn't even let Dick hardly go fishing, or she threatened him with a divorce. And once the Northwest was done crabbing, Dick took the AE up one time a year, and he fished one Opie trip, one Bear Die trip.
You call him right
times he went
now.
out
Call him
fishing
right now
chain.
and ask him who run the Royal Enterprise.
What?
Call Dick right now and ask him who run the Royal Enterprise.
Well, I think he made a trip on there.
Sure, he run it the whole fucking season.
Yeah, Bristol Bay Red King crab season that lasted
2 months? 3 months?
No, it didn't last that long.
And after he run it, Jim England got on it.
I think Grizz ran it.
No, he never.
I don't know. He ran.
No.
Grizz ran one. Jim England ran one.
But the Alaskan Enterprise was your boat. You ran that primarily.
I ran
the A for 8 years straight.
8 years
myself.
straight.
Yeah, but who run it first?
Well, you did.
You did. Then he was on there the first season, and then he told.
No,
Yeah,
I was
Jake
on
ran
there more than the first season because we never even put the goddamn processing on there until the boat was 2 years old.
Okay. The first couple of years the boat was built, Dad was on there, and then he got Jay Clifford to run the boat. And he told Jay to teach me to run it. So Jay ran. I worked for Jay for about a year, and then Jay went on the Lucian Enterprise, and I started running the boat when I was 22.
22. Okay.
And I ran it for the next 8 years. The only time I wasn't on
Who
the
ran it
boat.
the first 4 years?
What?
Who ran it the first 4 years?
I ran it for 2 of them.
No, you didn't.
Who did?
I did. The first 2 years, we didn't have no processing on it. The third year, I put the processing on. And the fourth year, I run it for the processing.
It was built in 78, so
I don't
you
give
ran
a
it
shit
till
what it was
82.
built. I know what I did.
And then when Jay ran
Oh, he went on it after I got off of it, yeah.
it, he was already on there.
Well, he was on there, but he wasn't running it.
No, until you got off.
So Dick was mainly on the Northwest Enterprise then.
I put that
Was
processing
he
on there, and I had a hell of a time getting enough guys to go fishing.
Yep, you told me that.
And then the next year, they all wanted to get on there.
No. This is how it went.
You're full of shit.
I picked a lot of my friends from home that I thought would be good fishermen that I grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he got Denny he
Denny
got
Thompson.
Rodney.
Yep.
People from Westport, Bob Lessman.
Jim Hoff.
Jim Hoff.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of them were people I grew up with, and
I never hired nobody.
I'm the one that brought it.
I never hired nobody. He hired everybody. That's bullshit too.
All the other boats went to the office.
I just hung around.
We didn't do it that way on the AAD.
You just picked them.
We would pick them, or it'd be somebody on the boat that was a really good worker that'd been on there.
Yeah.
That knew somebody at home, one of his friends. That's where we got our people. We never got our people to the office.
I never run nothing. I just followed around behind him and picked up the scraps that he left behind.
You were in a
Dad.
I never had nothing to do with
Dad,
it.
did I run the boat for 8 years and work on deck for 2? Yes or no?
I flew you off of that son of a bitch 3 different fucking times.
Okay, I built my boat in 1988. The boat was built in 78, and I was on it for 10 years till I built my boat.
Full of shit.
Oh, well, what boat was I on then?
You were on it for 10 fucking years.
Yeah, I was, Dad.
That's what I've heard. I've heard this from.
What fucking boat was I on then? Do you think I
you
just
was on there, but you
or
weren't
what?
on there for 10 years.
I was on there for 10 years.
No, you're full of shit.
Okay, Dad, the boat was built in 1978. I built mine in 88, and I was on that fucking boat from the day before it left.
You weren't running it.
He ran.
I run the son of a bitch for 4
Who
fucking
pulled
years.
the touch for you?
What?
Who was your poller?
Well, you was on there, yeah, but you weren't running it.
What? You just said I wasn't on there for 10 years.
You just said you run it for 10 years.
I ran it for 8 years.
He ran it for 8 years. He was on it for 10. Wasn't Dick on the Northwest Enterprise primarily?
He was before he went on the Royal.
Before he went on the Royal, yeah.
He was running the Northwest, and I built the Royal, and he went on the Royal.
Yep.
Dick did not. Dick choose when, and he never committed himself to a boat year round, ever. Because he had his seine boats.
Yeah.
And
a few of them.
He would go seining, he went herring fishing, he went salmon seining, he fished Dundee's in Cordova. So that took a lot of his year up.
Yeah.
So then in the wintertime, when he's not fishing his little boat anymore, he would take the boat up for a trip and go to Kodiak or Port Muller Hole and fish Beardeye for a trip. And then we started fishing Opies, and he made the first Opie trip on that boat on the 50 fathom edge where we don't even.
All right, you're so fucking smart. Call him up right now and ask him who run the Royal Enterprise when it was built.
Year round?
Call him up.
Okay.
Did he only fish it for?
He'll tell you.
The first couple seasons.
Dad wants to know if you ran the Royal Enterprise year round.
Yeah.
You fished it year round. You didn't go seining nothing.
Well, let's rewind time when you first went up to Alaska. It was with me on your brother's boat.
That's right. The first time I went up there was a pretty relaxed operation. I was only tendering, so
and what
basically stand
11, 12.
I was. Let me see. It was 2000. I would have been 10 or 11.
10 or 11.
I'd have been 10 or 11 my first year going up. You know, it's a more chill job as far as the fishing industry goes.
You were sorting fish, and you were pretty damn good at it too.
I was all right. I like to think, but you stand on a conveyor belt and you pitch the different salmon.
Yeah.
Pinks go here, reds go there, silvers here, dogs, etc. And it was always a lot of fun. That was kind of more. Maybe at 10 I would have rather been at home with my friends sometimes, but it was still fun. I had you, and tendering, you have a lot of time off, a lot of halibut fishing, exploring the woods. Like I said, my greenhorn experience was all around pretty pleasant. I don't have any complaints.
I'm out at the water, giving my best every day. I'm out on the water, the Bering Sea, doing what the captain say.
There he is, man of the hour. What a stud.
What are you guys taking pictures of on the deck?
We got a giant loon on deck.
Oh, was
The
it?
thing's got to be 4 foot
I
high.
thought I seen that son of a bitch hit the deck, but I thought it was a seagull or something. It flew away. But
He's never seen a black guy before. Will you just go over there, please? Stand next to Dad. Thank you. Go.
I did.
Get your fucking ass over there.
What do you want me to do?
Just stand there and look forward.
I'm not gonna. That's weird.
No, it's not.
Wait till it happens naturally.
No. Go do it. God. Fucking.
On a boat, soon we'll be in town, taking our checks to the bank.
Go over there.
No.
Walk over there and look at the screen.
No.
Put your arm around him. Go.
No.
Go over there now.
No, you're.
Go. It's for the family.
I'm just a dumb fisherman.
Head over there.
Just weird force.
Head over there.
What?
And then look at the screen and point at the screen. No, look at the screen.
What?
Look at the screen.
No, that's fucking weird.
No, it's
Force.
not. I need a picture.
No, it's not. I'm not gonna fake a candid photo. That's retarded.
Happy fisherman.
that's a pretty job right there.
Keep someone. Brian and I are gonna interact. Oh, yeah.
I photographed down there on camera. Now I want to touch it. Photograph down there on camera.
How much is each tote? 500?
Yeah, it depends. Yeah. The tote like up to the one that was like 612. Well. I worked with Greenhorns on the dump boats, which is a boat that takes out the excess crab gear that we can't fit on our vessel. And so, you know, my first crab years, I got sent on the dump boat. It's the job nobody wants because it sucks and you have to dump other people's crab gear as well.
Yeah. About 2,000 pounds altogether.
Yeah. And it's a long dump day. As well as the other boats send their crew, but they're not sending their all-stars. They're, you know, they'll send a guy who's never been fishing before just to put a body on there because the captains want to keep their good deckhands on their boat. And so we're left kind of picking up the extra slack that is often left by those guys.
Why are greenhorns important?
Well, I mean, everybody in the fishing industry was a greenhorn, right? So without greenhorns, there is no fishing. Without greenhorns, you don't get anybody new into the industry. Everybody's going to be a greenhorn at some point. And, you know, it's a hit or miss kind of deal. You might have a greenhorn who isn't really worth much. Maybe he makes things harder. Maybe he's just lazy. Maybe he just decides he doesn't want to do it, which is more often than not the case. One of those descriptions kind of matches most greenhorns because it's a hard job compared to most things in the US or really in the world. But sometimes you get a greenhorn that just he's he's like a godsend, you know. You're like, wow, and you know, you really get to mold him into who you need for the boat. Some guys learn quick, and you can just tell they have that work ethic in them.
Yeah.
And you know, a great greenhorn is better than a good deckhand, because a great greenhorn you can mold into anything, you can teach, and he'll be around for a while if you teach him right. You know? So yeah, greenhorns are extremely important. Without greenhorns, there would be no fishermen.
There you go. That's great. How do you think Aiden did the day hire?
You know, it was obvious he had never crab fished before. You know, when you never done it before, lifting pots can be a tough job. Yeah, pots are heavy, but there's a technique to it. And if you don't have that technique, you're going to be struggling. And he was visibly tired compared to the other guys on deck. He wasn't any smaller, he wasn't any weaker necessarily, but he got the hang of it, and you know, he did a great job. You couldn't ask for more for a guy to just help you dunk gear. You know, after the first 50, 60 pots, you could see he got into a rhythm. He caught on, and he didn't slow down. He didn't try to quit. He was there to do his best, and he did his best, and he did a great job. I think he's somebody who, if he wanted to crab fish, he could learn and probably do well if he decided to, if he liked it. But it's not for everybody, you know. It's very different than any other fisheries you can do, and different than fisheries he'd done. So
yeah,
I haven't really spoken to him since. I don't know if he's looking for a crab job anymore or not.
He's gonna be going up to Alaska, and I think his uncle or someone gave him an opportunity on a lung lining boat.